Hey friends and parents, don't miss an entire summer of surprises on Disney Plus, who is sponsoring today's story. I am definitely looking forward to our Friday family movie nights as we watch the wonderful summer of Mickey Mouse, and I'm really excited about America the Beautiful, especially to all my critter protectors. This is from the producers of Planet Earth, and so we're gonna get the most amazing tour of the most amazing wildlife that America has to offer. All these and more streaming this month on Disney Plus. Today's story sponsor is Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, which is a summer animated comedy for the whole family. If you've ever felt like an underdog, you will love the adventure when the underdog becomes the top dog. Oh, and of course, there's no more epic rivalry than cats versus dogs, right? But what happens when cats team up with the underdog? Looks like I know how we are going to be spending one of our Friday family movie nights this summer. Join us at the theaters on July 15th to see Paws of Fury. Hello, critter protectors. Mr. Jim here, and welcome to Kids Animal Stories, a place where there's always a mystery and adventure around every single corner. If you love critters of all shapes and sizes, I need you on our Critter Protector team. Join our adventure as we learn about critters from around the world and in our backyards. Well, my friends, are you ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go! Hey friends, today is a mystery episode, which means you have to listen closely to all the clues to try and solve the mystery of what critter our story is about. And his name is Mr. Cobb. Mr. Cobb was out for a stroll of sorts one bright, beautiful morning, but was feeling quite sulky and sad. Why, if everyone in these parts could just see what it's like for me out here for a while, they'd sure see. They would wish me back so fast, he mumbled to himself. Mr. Cobb glided through the tall stalks of green on either side of him. He was feeling pretty underappreciated and a bit like he didn't matter at all, but he did. He had a very important job to look after this ginormous field of corn, to keep it safe from critters that might want to eat it. Can you think of a critter that might want to eat bits of corn in a cornfield? What do you think? Mice, maybe? Yeah, mice can be a big problem in cornfields, but it was Mr. Cobb's job to keep those mice away. But with him feeling underappreciated, do you know what that means? It means that he felt like what he did, nobody even cared, or nobody even knew that he was doing something important. Have you ever felt this way? Like your job isn't very important, or people didn't notice all the work that you've been doing behind the scenes? Well, this is exactly how Mr. Cobb was feeling. He was not happy about it. I gotta go get some more fertilizer for this corn. It seems to not be growing quite right. I'll head back to the barn. Mr. Cobb quickly slid through the stalks of corn. He bumped them with his tail and didn't even care that it broke off some parts of the plants. He was really upset. You know what? I think I need some time away from this field of corn. Maybe some fresh scenery around here will calm me down, or at least I could have some fun, he thought. So instead of Mr. Cobb going to the barn and getting some fertilizer and working on the cornfields, he just kept on slithering towards the end of his field and looked at the rocky edge ahead of him. That looks like an exciting place to explore and just take a break from all this work that nobody seems to ever care about. Oh, wow, and look at that ginormous boulder. I bet I could climb all the way to the top. Off in the distance, Mr. Cobb saw a big collection of rocks and boulders, and he did like climbing onto rocks to sun himself. Ooh, it was a nice sunny day. It would feel so good for him to lay on those rocks. Oh, I just gotta squeeze through some of these little cracks here, and then I can make it straight up to the top. Mr. Cobb was really good at squeezing through little cracks. He didn't have any arms or legs, and it was really easy for him to squeeze his body through and pull out the other side. Just as Mr. Cobb came up to the top of the tall boulder, a big gust of wind blew right at him. Dust, rocks, and small twigs blew all around. It was almost like a tornado. Oh, wait a second. No, it wasn't a tornado, just a gust of wind. Phew, that was a close one. Mr. Cobb was thankful for his super sleek eye protection. No, not sunglasses, and his species doesn't even have eyelids to close, but they do have a special clear cover of skin over their eyes for protection. It's a very special scale that is there to protect his eyes. Mr. Cobb kept on moving forward, with his golden body moving in and out of small rocks, under, over, all around with ease, until suddenly he heard something that startled him. Ah? What was that? Mr. Cobb started rattling his tail like he always did when he suspected danger. He wasn't exactly sure what he heard, and if it was a predator, he needed to be ready to show off that he was off limits. He heard the sound again and then looked and laughed a little. Oops, I'm sorry, little guys. Mr. Cobb had heard a family of beetles rustling along in some dead leaves. That was definitely not a threat. He was very grateful that this encounter wasn't like a hawk or something. It's very scary. Usually his rattle helped him in those cases. But just between you and me, it actually was just for show. He wasn't a rattlesnake. He would rattle his tail to trick other critters into thinking that he was a rattlesnake, but it was just a scary sound. He was not venomous, but he was really good at tricking other critters. As he kept on moving, he realized that he wasn't quite sure if he was still heading in the right direction. He felt a little lost and forgot exactly what he was doing. Wait a second. Oh dear. I left all my corn. I forgot to do my job and... oh man, where am I? He picked up his head and looked around. He wasn't tall enough, so he needed to climb to some higher rocks. I just need to get a better look around somehow and get up there. I'll need to climb some more. Mr. Cobb looked around and spotted a small tree reaching up about 10 feet above the rocks. Oh, that's even better. He slithered over and climbed up the tree with ease. Climbing was one of his favorite things to do. But it was then that as he climbed up on that tree and got a higher view, that's when he looked around and saw something terrible. Mother Nature, what on earth has happened to my cornfields over there? They look terrible. Looks like someone's had a field day in there. Oh dear, I need to get back to work. Oh no! What in the world has happened to his other cornfields? You see, even though he feels like his job is very, no one cares about it, it actually does matter a lot. It is a really important job for him to grow all this corn for many of the critters that live nearby. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens on the next episode of Kids Animal Stories. Great job, you listened all the way to the end. We have a lot of clues to talk about. So Mr. Cobb, he lives kind of in a cornfield, right? Yep, and he doesn't have any arms or legs, but he's not a rattlesnake. He does rattle his tail, but he is not venomous like a rattlesnake is. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. He needs to scare away mice. Well, I'm going to keep thinking, and you should too. and I will see you on our next adventure. Bye!